Jamaica is intensifying its call to dismantle the decades-long U.S. blockade on Cuba, demanding or condemning rather it as an illegal chokehold on economic freedom. As Cuba battles crippling shortages and blackouts in the wake of Hurricane Oscar, Jamaica's foreign affairs authorities are rallying strong support at home and on the global stage. With more, here's Ramon Gordon.
For over 60 years, one of Jamaica's closest neighbors, Cuba, has been economically and politically stifled by the weight of a mammoth embargo imposed by the United States. 187 UN member states recently voted to strike down the sanctions, a move which led to the Argentine foreign minister being dismissed. Locally, State Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Orlando Terrelong, recently moved a motion in Parliament to support Cuba's right to economic freedom, issuing maybe the government's staunchest rebuke yet.
Imagine, Mr. Speaker, that as a result of an unlawful and illegal trade embargo unilaterally imposed by one country, that 10 million Cubans living on an island without electricity due to an embargo. It is morally indefensible, Mr. Speaker, to impose such suffering on innocent civilians.
Eastern Cuba has been struggling with recovery after being thrashed by Hurricane Oscar late October. The country has been plagued by persistent blackouts, worsening the scarcity of food, fuel, and medicine. Some Cubans are abandoning ship, some washing up in Hanover and St. James recently.
The Jamaica-Cuban relations are based on mutual respect for sovereignty. I want to assure Ambassador and the people of Cuba that the government of Jamaica remains opposed to the unilateral application of economic and trade measures by one state against another. And in keeping with international law, the government of Jamaica has refused to promulgate any law, legislation, or measure that would infringe on the sovereignty of a state or its lawful national interests.
Local authorities have yet to decide the fate of the 7 Cuban nationals who arrived illegally by boat early Sunday morning. They, however, remain in custody. Meanwhile, on Wednesday, Jamaica's representative to the United Nations carried Parliament's baton to the UN's 79th session.
Jamaica continues to believe that this embargo is a flagrant violation of international law and contrary to the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. This embargo continues to inflict unnecessary wounds to the Cuban economy and stifle the development aspirations and growth potential of the Cuban people. We therefore join the international community in expressing our unwavering solidarity with the government and people of the Republic of Cuba in the call for the removal of this decades-old blockade.
Only the U.S. and Israel opposed the vote against the sanction. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.